Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, leave a like on this video, and turn on the bell notifications to get notified for every video. So today's video is going to be a story time of when me and my friend went to this private property Girl Scout camp. It's like literally like right next to our neighborhood. And some crazy, batshit crazy, scary ass shit happened. So I will be talking about that in this video. So grab popcorn, grab a drink. It's going to be a long one. And it's going to be terrifying. So let's get started. So about, I think like 2 years ago, like it was 2017, me and my best friend, we broke into this Girl Scout camp. Like there's this Girl Scout camp that's like literally right next to our neighborhood, and it's like a fair walk from our neighborhood to the camp. It's like a 5-minute walk. It would be like a 1-minute drive, but we were trying not to get noticed, so we walk to this Girl Scout camp to check it out in the day because she wanted to invite some guys and some friends to go to this swimming pool that's in the camp. So me and her walk by ourselves, and we walk to the camp. We basically break in, and I might get in legal trouble for this, but we broke in, and we didn't break in, we just like jumped the fence that they have, so it's not breaking in, but we basically broke in. And the whole time I was there, I had this super bad feeling, and it was just like this feeling of like scared. Like I was so scared, and I felt like something was watching us. So we start walking this it's like this open space, like you can see basically everything. It's like this big ass field of grass, and we walk towards the woods, and then you turn a right, and then you go down another long path, and you can see the pool basically, like you can see where it is. And so we go over, and we look at the pool. There's a big fence around the pool, so she's like, oh, we have to jump over the fence, we have to make sure no one gets caught, we have to be super quiet, we want to go swimming, the water might be super cold even though it's in the middle of summer. And it's just like we're supposed to like go at midnight. Like that's when this whole plan is supposed to happen, is at midnight, to go swimming with these groups of guys and friends, to go swimming. And just like the whole time I'm having this super bad feeling. So like we turn around and we go down this path where the Girl Scout cabins are. And the whole time I'm like feeling like something's watching me, and I'm like terrified. And so we walk down the path, and we're surrounded by woods and these like cabins, and like the cabins look super sketchy. Like they look so creepy. Like, have you ever seen Evil Dead, the cabin that they stayed in the like recent movie that they made? That's what the cabin looks like. Like every single one of the cabins, there was like at least 4 of them separated, and they each look like that cabin from that movie. So I'm telling her like, hey, like I have a super bad feeling about this, like we should get out of there. And so she's like, okay, let's go. And so we're walking back to where we started, and then we go into the woods because I'm like, um, I see something. Like, I see this structure. And like, when I was in school, like every time I got on the bus, we would pass by the woods, and every single time when it was like winter, like everything would be dead, I would see like this structure um in the woods, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't know what that is. So we went inside the woods, and we saw this like kind of like a maze of stuff, and it was like this structure. It was basically like a playground, or kind of like stuff to do, like exercise, in the woods that the Girl Scout camp set up. And so I'm like, oh, okay, like this all makes sense, like this is what this is. So we walk out of the woods, trying not to get caught, and so we wait until midnight. And last minute, I decide not to go, and um, so thank God I decided not to go, because the next thing that happens, from what she told me, it is the most terrifying experience ever, and I'm so happy that I was not there to see it. So, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. So, she goes, with the group of guys and her friends, this other girl, besides her, they go with these two guys, to the camp, and they have their flashlights, and they're basically walking in pitch black darkness in this woods. And then all of a sudden, from the edge of the woods, it's like on this side, it like to this side, like it's like basically like this the tree line, this like dog, like this white dog, runs out from the tree line from this side to this side, like runs in the field. And it was not an ordinary dog. It was basically running on its hind legs like a human. Like, she says that like the dog ran from the tree line running like a human on its back legs, like, and like it ran and then ran to the other side of the woods. So she told me that they saw this dog and it freaked them out, but like they didn't leave. Like, they continually wanted to swim at the pool. So they, despite this experience with what I will tell you guys what this thing is, for some of you, you might know what this thing is, but I will explain what this thing is. It was not a dog. So they go swimming at the pool, and while they're swimming, my friend tells me that she was swimming, and she was in this corner where it was closer to the woods, and in the woods she heard this thing call out her name, and like basically like a cry for help, like asking her to come help this thing in the woods. And she was like, did you guys hear that? Like, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that thing in the woods? And everybody was like, no, what are you talking about? So, so she hears this voice, but she ignores it. And so they're continuously swimming, and then they get out and they go home. And the next day, she gets sick. Like, she gets sick. Like, everybody that was there got sick. But my friend got it the worst. She got this, like, unknown virus in her mouth. Like, this, like, it was in the back of her throat. It was, like, the top of her mouth and the back of her throat. And it was, like, this sickness virus that was in her mouth that, like, literally lasted, like, months. It lasted months, and she had to get surgery twice to get it fixed. And like, she would cough up blood, and it was crazy. Like, she got surgery twice, and it wouldn't go away. And it was really bad for her. She was in so much pain all the time. Her throat would hurt all the time. And she was sick. Like, she got really sick. And everybody else got sick too. So she's telling me about this, and instantly I know exactly what it is. So I have been reading or hearing these scary stories from YouTubers that tell stories like that. People send them in. And I've seen like videos and movies and stuff like that of this type of stuff. And what she saw was a skinwalker. So if you don't know what a skinwalker is, it's basically like a Navajo Indian type witch that transforms into animals, and like it like tricks you into thinking it's an animal, but it's not, and it kills you. It kind of like mimics the voices of its last victims, where it's normally like cries for help. So people run to the woods or wherever it is to help this person that's crying for help. In the end, they die because it's not a human. And it's normally like this, like it can disguise itself into like a deer or a German Shepherd or a fox, any type of animal. And you can normally tell that it's not an animal because the body's distorted. It's like twisted. It basically looks like roadkill, and you can tell that it's not a real animal because it doesn't have a tail. So, and the smell of it is like rotting flesh. Like, you can't stand the smell. It's so bad. So I'm telling her that she encountered this thing, that I know exactly what it is. And like, she's like, I'm just like freaking out for her because I'm like, thank God I was not fucking there. Like, I am so happy that I did not experience that, because I know what these things are. I know that they're not something to be played with, and they're dangerous. If you don't believe this, that's on you. Like, I believe this. There are other people that believe this shit. I know this thing sounds completely like fake, but it's not. My boyfriend has experienced something similar to this, but in Florida. So skinwalkers are basically like these like shape-shifting demons, witches. They're Navajo. They're like root from existence from Navajo, the Indian Navajo. And so they normally are parts of, you can kind of see them in wooded areas, very wooded areas. Like, normally they exist kind of in Arizona, Colorado, basically like desert places. But because, you know, you never know, like before 100 years ago, like our whole United States used to be like covered in woods, and like Indians used to live everywhere. And so you never know that even though we took their homes and all of these things, those creatures still are living here. Like, this is still their home. So it's kind of crazy to think about, like, even though like it's been 100 years, they're still here, and they still exist. So, and they're like scary to think about, that if you encounter one, like, you might not make it out alive. So she's sick, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I know what this is, I know what's going on. And normally, I've read about this, if you encounter a skinwalker, then you get sick. Like, it like curses you, and it looks for you. It looks for you. Once it's seen you, it looks for you. So you get sick, and it's basically like a curse. And a couple times me and her walked, to these train tracks that we have near our house. And every now and then when we would walk closer to the woods, we would both smell this like rotting flesh of dead body. And like it was like we would look around and there would be nothing there, like no dead bodies, no animals, no animal carcasses or nothing, but we would smell like this strong ass smell of like rotting flesh. And so like I wouldn't connect the dots, because she, like, it took a while for her to tell me this. So we would walk out and walk into these woods and smell the smell. And until she told me this, I was like, I clicked. It, like, everything clicked together. Why the smell and her sickness and everything else. And I was like, you know what? We have to cleanse you. We have to cleanse you. So I bought white sage and a lighter, and I saged her. And after I saged her, literally, guys, no joke, she stopped being sick. Like, the sickness just went away. So, like, it freaked me out knowing that, like, these things are in the woods, like, around our house. And I've always had this, like, creepy sensation around my house, especially in the woods. And it just freaks me out knowing that this happened, that it's so close. Like, it freaks me out knowing that, like, it could be living in my backyard. So it's just, and I honestly don't believe that this is the first time that we've encountered this, because a couple years prior to this happening, like 8 years, me and my friends were in the woods, and like I was the only one that saw us. It was like 8 at night, like it was starting to get really dark. It was in the summer, and we're walking to look for my friend's phone in the woods because she dropped it. And like I look down farther, like down the tree line, far in the woods. Everybody's looking for the phone. I'm the only one that's looking straight in the woods, and I see these two figures, and they're like black and super skinny, like dead bone, stick to the bone skinny. No, it wasn't Slenderman, but I saw this thing, and normally skinwalkers are like super slim, super skinny, and they're really tall. But I saw two of them in the woods, and they were like looking like out from a bush and looking, staring at us. Like I was the only one that saw this. And they ran away, and like really fast, like they jumped and ran away. And it was just super scary to see it, and I was freaking out. And later that night, I used to go outside in my backyard, stand in the grass with my bare feet and look up at the stars. It just felt so nice with the wind blowing. And that exact same night, I was in my backyard doing exactly that, and I heard this like animalistic like growl, but it didn't sound like an animal. It sounded like in the mixture of a human but like an animal. And you know how zombies growl? It kind of sounded like that, but more like contorted and different. And I freaked out. I ran inside the house and I locked the door, and it's like crazy because like every now and then, like I'm in my kitchen by myself, and I always hear like creaking outside on my deck in my backyard, or like my dogs, like we leave our living room windows open at night in the summer, and sometimes like my dogs like bark and like go ballistic, and they're like, because they're seeing and they're hearing something outside, and they bark and they go crazy. And I wake up in the middle of the night and check on them, and like I go to the window, and the window's facing my backyard, and like I sense this like darkness, and like I'm too scared to open the close the window, and it's crazy, because I know that like what my friend saw, it's out there, and it's not the first time that we've encountered this. So that's the story time. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, definitely will help out this channel. Leave a comment and let me know if you guys have experienced this type of shit before. If you know what I'm talking about, and I want to know your stories down in the comment section below, because I want to know that I am not the only one that is on this planet that has experienced this type of shit. So if you like this video, again, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.